Time is money. And across the past 6+ years, I've analyzed everything I can get my hands on to figure out how to better manage it, to go from this to this, and achieve so many of my goals. And I 100% believe it's allowed me to 10x my earnings. Everyone has the same amount of time in the day, 24 hours, and 8 of that will probably be spent sleeping. But despite the fact we all have the same 24 hours in the day, we're all on different levels of success. And that's because I believe most of success can be chalked up to great time management, whatever your metric of success may be. Now, I've seen way too many of these drawn out how to be productive videos, reading off a list, videos of basic productivity ideas, and I hate it. So I've condensed this video down into the most compact format of how I actually go about achieving my peak productivity. And I truly believe that this video will 10x your results. And if you watch to the end and aren't satisfied, comment and I'll make it up to you. So subscribe and let's go ahead and dive into it. Managing your time means nothing without goal brainstorming. And for many of us, we spend more time doing and way too little time planning, which can mean putting our energy into things that don't matter or don't get us close to our goals or without even a goal in mind. The human brain is a goal achieving mechanism. Your subconscious works to getting you towards these goals without you even realizing it. But without spending the time thinking about what those goals are, your brain can't go to work doing what it does best. I spend at least an hour a week meditating, journaling, going through my goals, and figuring out what I want to achieve. What are the sub-goals I need to get there, and what is my progress towards them? This allows me to dial in on the objectives that matter the most and the actions I most need to take to get there. This allows me to work deliberately rather than aimlessly doing whatever I feel is best in the moment. My night before a day starts with making a checklist of things I need to get done the next day, and I literally just use the Notes app. I think about this meme all the time, and for me, at least it's so true. I've tried all of the note-taking apps, and nothing is as easy to access and readily available as Notes to me. Notes allows you to do checklists, which I literally do every day, and without having this, there's little accountability for me that I'll get to it. I can always keep putting it off. And with this, once I got used to it, I literally feel bad if there's unchecked tasks during the day. And throughout the day, I can see my progress in the form of the list getting smaller and smaller. And it's literally proven each time you check something off your to-do list is dopamine straight to your brain. I sit down the night before, anything I didn't get done before the day carries over, and any other goals that have emerged gets added on. Now, when the day starts the next day, a big thing here is I do the most important task first. This is one you might have heard before because it is so powerful. Your willpower bucket, your energy bucket are highest right in the morning, so it's super crucial to tackle that big task. 1, because you have the most energy to do it, but 2, you can stop procrastinating it off and have to get to it right away, and 3, you can have a feeling of accomplishment to carry you through the rest of the day. What happens to a lot of people is they start the workday and they have a ton of notifications from when they logged off, of emails, messages, things to reply to, and they get bogged down in this administrative work rather than the real work that matters, and that zaps all of their energy. Now forget the emails, forget the notifications, and honestly, in an ideal world, don't even look at the emails and notifications until you finish that first task. And if you follow this rule, at least you're getting one big thing done every single day. And now over time, as you're completing your list, I bring in what you've probably heard of before, and that's the 80-20 principle, or the Pareto Principle. And this principle states that 80% of the outcomes result from only 20% of the causes for a given event. So only a few super important actions are responsible for the majority of your results. So as you're completing your task, you can look through and think which ones fall into that 20% that matter and which ones fall into that 80% that don't have much effect. And you can eliminate the ones that have no effect and refocus your efforts on the things that actually are making a difference. For instance, when trying to grow our main channel on YouTube, we tried many strategies like YouTube lives and discussions and different videos and shorts. And what we quickly found out is while our efforts in lives and discussions were having little impact, creating daily shorts was having incredible results. And by being able to focus all of our effort into shorts, we were able to take those incredible results and supercharge them. Then from there, we're able to take different ideas in shorts and figure out which ideas are working the best, and then 80-20 it again, and only focus on those ideas that are working super well. Now that's the 80-20 principle at work. This should over time give you a list that's so dialed in on the things that are effective and working. Especially when you repeat this process over and over again, you're finding those actions that really matter the most and have the most effect. But the fact of the matter is probably less than a third of your day is even going to be spent on the things on your to-do list. That's because all of us have lives outside of work, regardless if it feels like it, of eating, of hanging out with friends, of preparing yourself, and whatever your hobbies may be. And this is where I developed something called the entertainment education spectrum. We all have the same number of hours in a day, and our brains are working for that same number of hours. So why do some people become smarter than others? Why do some achieve more success? Sure, some is genetics, but a lot has to do with what you consume. If you spend your time watching prank videos or crash compilations, this is on the far side of the entertainment spectrum. There's little educational value and it's pure entertainment. Sometimes we need pure entertainment. We need to recharge, but too much stunts your brain's growth. On the education side, you could study a book on how to and even practice making pasta. This might be fun, but your brain is growing and learning and engaged in education as you're learning the skill. Keep in mind the need to recharge, but also keep an eye out on what you're consuming and what end it falls into. Leaning harder towards the education side, especially when the education is focused on your goals, is one of the easiest ways to get ahead in life. There's no magical trick to learning skills and getting better. It's all about focused time. So it's about spending time in that educational zone and also focusing in that time on the education that matters most to you. From there, you've got to cut out the unimportant stuff. Even on the learning side, are you learning something that's going to be beneficial and help you towards those big goals, or simply just fun for you to learn? Again, recharging is great, and sometimes we need those fun activities and breaks to refresh, but at the same time, the principle is always at work. One of the big things I realized was the massive time investment of a night out drinking with friends. A night that started at 9 would end at 2, so that's 5 hours already, and the next day of feeling hungover would be at least another loss of 5 hours of productivity. Now, I still go out occasionally because I think it's important to have fun experiences and to socialize, but I am much more aware of the time because that's 10 hours of time that could be put towards something that actually matters and gets you closer towards your goals. Even if it's just opting to go out 1 day a week as opposed to 2, that's an extra 10 hours every week for a total of 520 hours for the year, and that can make a massive difference for you and your goals. Maybe it's not going out for you, maybe it's binging too much of a show, maybe scrolling TikTok. You can check your screen time and see what it is and think, if I cut this in half, multiplied it by 365, that's how much time you could have to put towards your goal. Once you're making the most of your time alone, the next step is leverage. The richest people ever got rich not by doing all the work themselves, but by building leverage. You can only earn so much money at an hourly rate doing something all yourself, and at some point you need to delegate or create things that are infinitely replicable. When you look at big tech, it has so much leverage because it's so replicable. You can replicate code and media over and over again with no additional cost. It is how sites like Amazon and Google have made their fortunes. But the other form of leverage is understanding what your time is worth and understanding it's very possible someone else could do it for less. And that brings us to hiring a VA. You can hire a VA for as little as $4 to $6 an hour from the Philippines who can take off many of your tasks. Even if you aren't paid an hourly wage, I think it's a good idea to establish an hourly rate in your head that you think your time is worth. Let's just say your hourly rate is $35 an hour and you have a task that would take you an hour, but it's a task that you could easily hand off. There's no reason you shouldn't have a virtual assistant handle that task for you so you can focus your effort on the big things and thinking that only you can do. The best CEOs, when you look at Jeff Bezos, he was not in the trenches packaging Amazon boxes. He reserved his time for answering the few big questions that matter as the captain steering the ship.
What do you really get paid to do? As a senior executive, you get paid to make a small number of high-quality decisions.
At Amazon, he built the ultimate leverage, and he knew what his time was most useful for, and as the richest man in the world, knew what his time was worth, so he delegated the tasks that others could do and paid them for it. Obviously, Amazon is a massive organization, but we can think about this on a smaller scale too. We see people that are well off hire workers to clean their homes or mow their lawn, and this may be because they don't like doing it. But imagine this person's hourly rate is $100 an hour, and they can pay someone to mow their lawn for $25 an hour. So why wouldn't they pay someone to mow their lawn when they can go make $100 at their skilled profession during the time it would have taken them to do so? Look at your goals, look at your task, and think what are the things that you would be able to delegate. And in an ideal world, what are the tasks that are the most important for you to do that you could focus your effort on to steer the ship and gain ultimate leverage? The site to find a virtual assistant or VA is online-jobs.ph. You can make a job posting and get connected with thousands of VAs in the Philippines, regardless of whether you're looking for a video editor, a writer, an assistant, and so on. I truly believe that these 7 principles have had a 10x impact on my time management and thus my success and earnings. If this video has helped you, make sure to subscribe for more like this. There's also an additional 7 principles I've came up with as we get deeper, so leave a comment if you're interested in a deeper dive, and I'll see you guys next time.